What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Ravens Rundown live show. I am your host, Joey Petersen. So excited to be coming at you live from downtown Dallas, Texas. We got a big show prepared for you guys today, talking about three things. We got Dan Orlovsky, what he had to say about Lamar Jackson and the entire MVP conversation. And then we're going to, second segment, dive a little bit into the AFC Playoff Picture, talk a little bit about Baltimore Ravens, where they fit in the entirety of the AFC, and also kind of where they fit in the AFC North, their chances to close out and possibly win that division. We're going to wrap up today's live show with a live Ravens Rundown mailbag, and this is your guys' chance to get on today's show. And if you guys want to do that, two simple ways, okay? You can ask me a question in the live chat. You can use hashtag Ravens to do so with that question, or you could super chat. Get on today's show. That guarantees your question will make it on. And, you got to put hashtag Ravens in with the question. So hashtag Ravens. Is Lamar Jackson the best quarterback in the NFL? Send. That's how you do that. If you want to guarantee it gets on, you can super chat to the show, $sign right next to the chat box. Again, so excited to be with every single one of you today for our first live show in the middle of the week during the season. We'll be doing this on Tuesdays at 4:30 for the rest of the season. So you guys know where I'm watching or where I'm live from. Now it's your guys' turn to tell me where you are watching from today. We got 40 people in the chat. Nice little audience so far today. We got Ottoman Empire saying, yo, I'm here. Kimberly Harmon saying, good evening, Joey. Just my opinion, saying Steelers going to the Super Bowl. I don't think so, my friend. Papa Shock saying, let's take this bye and remember who we are. K9 Reapers is here saying, let's go Ravens, even though y'all pissing me off. K9 Reaper's already with a question. Hashtag Ravens, what do you think our chances of winning the AFC North are? Great question, K9. Of course, we'll get into all of that later in today's stream. But, guys, you got to do it just like K9 Reapers did if you want a chance to get on today's show. Awesome. Ottoman Empire hitting us with watching from Flock Town. Good to see it. Good to hear you guys. Kimberly Harmon checking in from Montgomery, Alabama. Ty Man the Buckeye, as always, checking in from OHIO. Ty Man, brutal loss for your Buckeyes on Saturday. Really hate to hear that, but there's a possibility your Ohio State Buckeyes and my Tennessee Volunteers will be playing in the first round of the college football playoffs. Really excited about it. Papa Shock with a great question. Joey, do you think Baltimore can win out? I do, Papa. I'll go in more in depth later in today's episode, but I really do think so. Fantastic question. I just think that, the Texans have shown a lot of warts. You still get to play the Giants and the Browns. I think those are two you kind of have to win. And then, man, Steelers games are always a toss-up, but this one's at home. I still think at the end of the day, you're a better team than they are. So I do think you can win all four. JEJB checking in from Memphis. JEJ, I am a proud alum of the Tennessee Volunteers. So glad you're hanging out with us and checking in from Memphis. Attendance Squad saying, I really want the Ravens to win the division. Savage saying, angry Lamar is back. I'm excited about it, man. I heard the press conference just the other day, or I think it was the post-game one, and he was like, we're already focused on the Giants, man. I'm done with this bye week, ready to play the Giants. Poor Giants. Really, I mean, at the end of the day, man, their season just has not gone the way they wanted it to, has not gone the way anybody would want a season to go. And then, first off, they have to play Baltimore, and then they have to play Baltimore with an angry Lamar Jackson coming off a bye week, coming off a loss. Yikes. Not good stuff for the New York Giants. We got Ottoman Empire. Do you think we are going to win the Super Bowl next year? Ottoman, do you mean this year of 2024 season, 2025 Super Bowl? Or do you mean next year the 2025 season, the 2026 Super Bowl? Let me know. We got one Dethoring checking in from San Antonio. Attendance Squad said, hey, Joe, are you doing these live streams next season? You're really good at being a host for the channel. Thanks so much. I really appreciate it. I will be doing these throughout the entirety of the offseason as well. K9 Reaper saying, we winning the Natty with our playoff appearance. I hope so. 44 people in the chat, 12 likes. Make sure you guys like the video, okay? And type me in the chat for a shout out if you've already liked it. Again, 44 people watching, 12 likes. Go ahead and like it. And also, if you've already liked it, go ahead and type me. And if you haven't liked it or subscribed, then hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, if you're just kind of scrolling through YouTube, it's 5:30 Eastern time, you're at the end of your workday and you're saying like, oh, okay, what's this? I see a Ravens channel's live right now. Let me go check that out. This is Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Joey Petersen. We get you a video every day of the week, sometimes 2 days. And we also go live during the week, Tuesdays, first one of the year. And we're live for every single game. This is the best place to be if you are a Ravens fan on YouTube. Do you feel like the Ravens are getting the Chiefs treatment from last year? Underrated in the regular season, but make a monster playoff run. BP, that is a fantastic question. I haven't really even thought of it in that way before. But I could totally see that happening because how often last year did everybody say, oh man, the Chiefs might not win it all this year, and then they went on a monster run in the playoffs and, ultimately won the Super Bowl. I think the only thing that separates those two in the sense of your question is the Chiefs had an elite defense, and the Ravens, while this defense has gotten better and has improved over the last few weeks, I wouldn't say it's elite by any stretch of the word. Also, Patrick Mahomes had a better playoff record going into last season, just had more success in the playoffs than Lamar has had in his career. Doesn't mean Lamar can't do it, but also doesn't mean he won't. We got a lot of me's in the chat. Fearless Tadpole saying Ravens are cooked. Fearless, fear not, my friend. Maybe not. I think they still got some life left in them. This bye week's coming at a really good time, so hopefully not. Eagles Forever saying Ravens are pretenders. Get out of here. Get out of here. Lots of me's in the chat. Ottoman Empire's liked it. Papa Shook has liked it. Ty Man's liked the stream. Just My Opinions liked it as well. Keep liking it up. Again, these are topics we're going over on today's stream. Talking a little Dan Orlovsky, what he had to say about Lamar Jackson, especially when it comes to the MVP conversation. We're doing a little AFC playoff picture, a little AFC playoff talk, and then, of course, we're going to round it out with a live mailbag. Already got some fantastic questions in the chat. Keep those coming. I really, really appreciate all of those. And you know what? If you guys are ready to go, I'm ready to go and get started. Talk a little Dan Orlovsky to start this thing off. Attendance squad's in here. Little Bryson's in here. We got Sophia in here as well. All the real ones in the chat for today's live edition of Ravens Rundown powered by Chat Sports. And again, I'm self-producing, so that means got nobody behind the chair. I got all of it right in front of me. So I would like a little bit of grace. Would much appreciate that. But again, just so thankful that you guys are hanging out with me, tuning in with me, and doing all of that stuff. I really do appreciate it. All right. Let's waste no more time. Let's get into it. Dan Orlovsky disrespects Lamar Jackson. What is going on, everybody? Welcome into Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and you will not believe what Dan Orlovsky, ESPN NFL Insider, had to say about Lamar Jackson. Or honestly, with kind of the trend that we've seen of people hating on Lamar, you might be able to believe it. But nonetheless, I don't appreciate it. We're going to take a deep dive into his comments and a little bit of a deeper dive into Lamar's play this year and what he has to do to elevate it through the final 4 games of the season. Again, thanks so much for tuning in. If this is your first time with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button because we have been challenged by Steelers Talk host Jack Sperry to go on a subscriber battle for the entirety of this week. Steelers Talk currently is beating this channel. They've got 52 subs. Currently, we're sitting at 46, so only 6 behind them. Guys, I'm telling you, that's not very far behind. If you've never subscribed to this channel, if this is your first time hanging out with us, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and help us beat Steelers Talk channel. All right, let's talk Dan Orlovsky because we've got a new Lamar Jackson hater to talk about. It's not the usual suspects. It's not the Nick Wrights of the world. It's not the Stephen A. Smiths of the world. And I'm tired of talking about those guys. But Dan Orlovsky had some new things to say about Lamar Jackson and his MVP play throughout the last couple weeks of the season. Lamar played poorly, and that's the second time in 3 weeks. Egregious misses. I thought he didn't see the field clearly and tried to do a little bit too much. I think Lamar in the last 3 weeks has played himself out of the lead in the MVP conversation. Let's start with how he played against the Philadelphia Eagles, because obviously, and I don't think any of you guys would disagree with me on this, it wasn't his best game. 63.9% completion percentage, 239 yards, 237 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, and a passer rating of 101.3. Honestly, when you hear all those things, it's like, was it really that bad? And no, it really wasn't that bad, but it's not what we're used to seeing from Lamar, especially through that middle stretch of the season. Okay, I got more to talk about, but I want to hear from you guys first. Let me know in the comment section down below, what is Lamar Jackson's chance to win MVP this year in 2024? I would have said a couple weeks ago, it was almost sitting at 100. Unfortunately, I think it's dropped just a little bit, but you guys let me know in the comment section. You're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break, and this is the pinned comment on today's video. So find that comment and reply with a scale of 1 to 100. Let's look at the MVP odds as they stand right now, okay? Josh Allen, after his winter wonderland performance against the San Francisco 49ers on Sunday Night Football, he has jumped both Saquon Barkley and Lamar Jackson and sits as a favorite at minus 225. And then you got Saquon Barkley at plus 350. And I know he's been playing absolutely out of his mind over the past couple weeks. Then Lamar Jackson sitting at plus 900. Definitely took a big fall over the last week or two. And then Jared Goff at plus 1200. It's pretty clear to say that he probably has played himself out of the lead or out of really any kind of contention. Jared Goff has with just the way that the other guys are playing, okay? And I want to start something off. I don't necessarily disagree with Orlovsky, okay? I know that's crazy to say because I talk about he's ripping him. I talk about he's disrespecting him. But if you just look a little bit more intently at the stats of the last 3 games, we all know that Lamar has not played to the level that we've been used to seeing him play at, okay? He has a 61.7% completion percentage, 207 yards on average per game, 5 touchdowns, 1 pick, okay? Now, that's not atrocious, but again, it's not the level that we're used to seeing, and it's happening at times where we're kind of needing him to be at his absolute best, okay? Against the Steelers. He was great on Monday night against the Chargers, but then struggled a little bit in really big spot against the Philadelphia Eagles with that really physical defense that they have. But I think it's ridiculous to say he's played himself out of the MVP conversation when you still look at the overall season stats. And he's top 2 in pretty much every single one of them except completion percentage. And when you look at his completion percentage, it's still better than Josh Allen's, okay? He's dominating everybody still that he's in the conversation with. He's got a completion percentage of 67% flat on the year. He has 3,290 passing yards on the season, 29 passing touchdowns, and only 3 interceptions, okay? So to me, it's crazy to say that he's played himself out of the conversation just because these last 3 weeks. I think you can say he hasn't helped his MVP case over the last 3 weeks. I would agree 100%. But to say he's played himself out of the conversation when he is still putting up these kind of numbers and you still got 4 more games to add to them, I think that's absolutely asinine, okay? We're talking about a guy that's most likely going to throw for 4,000 yards and has a really good chance to hit 35 touchdowns. And you're saying that he's played himself out of the conversation? That's ridiculous. But I think at the end of the day, I think this is possible to be a good thing for Lamar, okay? I think that this can just be one of those things that, I don't want to say motivates him, but kind of just gets the pressure off of him. He has so much pressure on him to win a Super Bowl, to win in big games, to show that he could be a quarterback who could pass the football, to lead his team to victory. And then you add win an MVP on top of that. That's just a lot to put on one guy. That's just a lot to put on one quarterback. And so I think that this might be just a good thing for him to be able to take a breath, just take a step back, and just focus on winning football games and focus on playing football games, okay? Coming up next, I've got a little bit more on Lamar Jackson and kind of a deeper dive into the past 3 games and the things that he's been missing, but also the things that he's been doing pretty well at. But before, I got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats at the lowest prices guaranteed. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. I talked about it in the build-up to today's episode, but my Tennessee Volunteers will be making their debut in the college football playoff in just a couple of weeks, and you can bet your bottom dollar I'll be getting my tickets to that game through our friends at Game Time. They have last-minute tickets and flash deals, views from receipts. They also got the lowest price guarantee. It's the easiest app to use. It's the only ticketing app I have on my phone. I think it's the only ticketing app you should have on your phone as well. So download the Game Time app and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. By downloading that app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. All right, guys, I want to go in and just talk about a couple of throws that he's missed. And really, we're going to look at one major one in this past game against the Philadelphia Eagles, okay? I know it's kind of hard to see this one. It's from a little bit of a zoomed out view. But you got Isaiah Likely there. He's wide open. The nearest Eagle is like 10 yards away from him, and he just airmails it, okay? And this wasn't like the only example that I could find. It's the only example we're going to look at today, but I think we've all seen this kind of thing happen over the past couple of games. I'm mainly thinking about the Steelers game and this game against the Eagles, okay? Just a couple of times where, yes, he made some great throws, but he also missed some wide open guys, like Isaiah Likely there, in a big moment in that game when you're going on a big drive to increase the lead to even more that you've already got it. And that ball's not even close, okay? What I need Lamar Jackson to do is just be a little more consistent, in my opinion. I feel like he's a guy that's either an 85% completion percentage guy or like a 58% completion percentage guy, okay? I need him to be a little bit more consistent and a little in the middle of that. And if you're going to miss throws, that's fine. You're a quarterback. You're a human. You can miss throws. Everybody misses throws. But just make sure it's not the ones where guys are wide open with not a near defender 10 yards from them, okay? But also, I do want to give him a little bit of credit as well because he has been throwing absolute dots at some point. This pass to Mark Andrews for the touchdown was absolutely ridiculous. And of course, Mark made a fantastic play, high pointing that ball. But Lamar's drifting out to his left, throws it on a frozen rope into double coverage, and Mark Andrews makes the play. Beautiful pass, okay? That one was capitalized on, but we all know Lamar has a ton of ones that aren't capitalized on, okay? This one, Nelson Agholor. This was third down. He throws a beautiful deep ball to Nelson Agholor, 5-yard line, could not be in the breadbasket more, and he drops the football, okay? He drops the football. And honestly, even if he would have come down with the football and not dropped it on the way down to the ground, he wouldn't have gotten 2 feet in because he didn't have the wherewithal to get both feet in, okay? And so if you're Lamar, you got to start hitting open guys a little bit more. And if you're a receiver or pass catcher on this team, just catch the ball. My goodness, this guy does so much for this team. The least you can do is catch it when you're wide open. So I got a question for you to kind of round out today's episode. Should Lamar be MVP? You guys let me know in the comment section down below. Type Y for yes and type N for no. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter or on Instagram, or X as they call it. You can find me at both places with the exact same name, Joey Petersen 8. Very important. Make sure you get that Petersen with an E, okay? My entire life, I've had hundreds and hundreds of people misspell it. And so if you want to find me on any of these social media platforms, hit me up at Joey Petersen 8 and give me a follow. All right, that is our first episode, our first little cut on today's live stream. Let's get back down into the chat. Kennedy Petersen's in the chat. Everybody say hi to my wife, Kennedy. She is tuning in from New York City. She had some work there this week and worked with the Salvation Army, so she got to do all the cool NYC touristy things. Got to go to the Empire State Building. Got to meet a lot of really cool people. Very proud of her and the work that she's been doing. Excited for her to get home tonight. So that was Dan Orlovsky. A little disrespect on Lamar Jackson. Coming up next, we've got the AFC Playoff Picture to look at, or an AFC Playoff Picture to look at coming up. And also make sure you guys are liking today's stream. If you've liked it already, go ahead and type me in the chat. And if you haven't liked it, make sure to click that like button. Golden Joe said, get off Lamar and watch the line play. Lamar is not the problem. I agree. And I was like, Golden, it's a hard rope to walk on. Because anytime you're a little bit critical of Lamar Jackson, people get upset. And I think Lamar Jackson's the best quarterback in the NFL, but he's also not a perfect quarterback by any stretch of the word. So me saying that he should hit open receivers is not me being on him. That's just like me saying, hey, when they're wide open, Lamar, you kind of got to hit those guys, okay? And so, I just did an entire segment about how I think it's ridiculous of what Dan Orlovsky was saying. So I don't think I'm being, super critical. But, hey, that's your opinion. That's your prerogative, as they say. We got 28 likes, 30 people watching. Let's try to get to 30 likes on this one. Coaster Dude saying Harbaugh and Tucker got to go out like old Yeller. I referenced that, Coaster Dude, on the live stream. The live stream from Sunday's game against the Eagles. I said it's time to just go and take Justin Tucker out back and just maybe old Yeller him. I know it's a little bit dramatic. I know it's a little bit much, but I think at the same point, in the same breath, man, he's been bad for this team. Yamel's checking in. I think it's insane that Lamar and Henry have those numbers with a horrible O-line. See, I don't think, does the O-line have things it needs to be better at? Yes. But, I think it's ridiculous that through the first 12, 13 weeks of the season, everybody was saying, man, this O-line's actually been doing really well. And then they've had a couple bad games, and everybody's calling them horrible. I don't think they're horrible. Do I think they're the best? No. But I think they're far from the worst. I can promise you that. Attendance Squad saying, hey, Joey, who are the Ravens playing for the wild card as of right now? Attendance Squad, great question. We're actually going to go into that in this next little cut. But as of right now, they are playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is pretty spicy if you ask me. Would be a road game in Pittsburgh. Obviously don't love that, but that's who they're playing right now. We got Papa Shook saying, I don't think the line is as bad as you think. Exactly, Papa, I agree. Just my opinion, said Burrow definitely better than Lamar. Burrow just doesn't have a defense, blah, 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 whatever. Yeecaw saying, hey, Joey, I hope we'll have more live shows in the future. I'm glad you're the host as you bring energy during the games and make them fun and interactive. Yeecaw, that is my hope, my friend. That is my hope. That's my wish. That's my dream. We will. This will be an every Tuesday thing. Got it approved by the bosses. Everybody showed them on our live show on Sunday that you guys want this to happen, so we're making it happen. And again, if you guys have any questions for me to answer. The next cut we'll do after this following one is a live Q&A mailbag. You guys ask questions. I answer them. So far, we've got a ton of really good questions from a ton of people. Make sure you guys keep asking them. As long as you guys ask, okay, I'm going to answer. So you guys ask in the chat. Unfortunately, like they're not all going to make it in. But, man, if you want a chance to get on here, if you guys want a chance, then make sure to ask your questions, and we will get them on our next cut. Alrighty, are you guys ready to get locked in to our next little segment that we've got? We're talking a little AFC Playoff Picture. We're talking a little AFC North Deep Dive. Let me fix something with the graphics real quick. You guys are seeing the, the behind the scenes right here at Chat Sports. Getting a nice little look into how we do things right here on the channel, in the company. Papa Shock saying, "Welp, I will be here every Tuesday." Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. And again, if you guys are just tuning in for the first time, this is your guys' first time on the channel. We are here every single day with a video for you guys, live on Tuesdays, live for the games as well. So make sure you guys hit that sub button. All right, I'm not going to waste anybody's time any further. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of a deep dive, a deep look into the AFC playoff picture right now and right here on Ravens Rundown. Things are getting awfully spicy as we're sitting right here in the middle of Week 14 of the NFL season. So we're going to look into it a little bit, see how the Ravens fare in this AFC playoff picture, and then we'll take a little bit of a deeper dive into that AFC North to see the chances of possibly winning that division and what might shake out for the rest of this season. You're not going to want to miss anything in today's episode to get you caught up on everything from the past 13 weeks of the season and how it affects the future 5 and the playoff race ultimately. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. This is Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and I want to do something today, okay? I'm going to challenge you because I want to break a record on today's show. Last December, the record for likes in a single show was 384. Can we break it on today's? 400 likes. That's what I'm going for. We need you guys to help us get there. So if you haven't liked the video already, hit the thumbs up button. Let's break some records and let's get into it. Alrighty, we take a look at the little bit of an AFC playoff picture, and let's take a little bit of a deeper dive into what the Ravens' actual percentages are. So as they sit right now, they have a 21.5% chance to get the number 3 seed, a 29.3% chance to get the number 5 seed, which is the second highest percent chance for something to happen, the 32.5% chance to get the 6th seed, which is exactly where they sit right now, okay? So things can change coming up, but you're going to need some things to happen. And unfortunately, those things didn't really happen this past week, because when we look at the Week 13 results of where pretty much everybody you're fighting for spots with in that AFC playoff picture, man, they had a really good week, and that's just putting it lightly. The Chiefs beat the Las Vegas Raiders, and barely, I mind you, but they beat them by a final score of 19-17. Then the Bills beat San Francisco, Steelers beat Cincinnati, Texans beat Jacksonville, Chargers beat Atlanta, the Ravens lost to the Eagles. We're not going to talk about that one much longer. And then the Broncos, they beat Cleveland on Monday Night Football. Colts beat New England barely by a score of 25-24. And yep, that's right. You're seeing that correctly. Every single team that the Ravens are fighting for playoff spots with won their matchups in Week 13. Every single one of them. All we got to do from here on out is hope and pray that that does not happen again. Before we get into anything else on today's video, I got to ask you guys, let me know, what is your confidence level in the Ravens making a playoff run? Okay? Scale it for me in the comment section down below. If you're really confident about it, give me a 10. If you're not really confident about it, go ahead and give me a 1. But you guys just make sure you let me know in the comment section down below. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. YouTube's about to throw you an ad break. And when that happens, give your answer for me, 1 to 10. So let's talk that playoff picture, okay? Because you saw the results and you saw everything else, but how does it all shake out? So as of right now, let's pull up that photo that we talked about earlier, because this is where everybody sits, okay? The Chiefs are in that number 1 seed. They've got a pretty good chance at keeping that number 1 seed. And then the Bills are at the number 2. Steelers are in that number 3. Chargers in that number 4 spot. Now you ask yourself, Joey, we just beat the Chargers. How did they jump up above us? Well, they're 8-4. We're 8-5. They've got 1 less loss than we do. Texans are at the number 4 spot. Then Chargers, they're at the number 5, first in the wild card. Then the Ravens, they're at number 6. Broncos at number 7. And the Colts that's the team that's kind of knocking on that door to possibly sneak in at the 7th spot. So, will things change this upcoming week? Well, I hope so. Let's take a little bit of a look at the Week 14 matchups. So, who each of these teams play in their upcoming games in Week 14. The Chiefs, they play the Chargers at home in Arrowhead Stadium. The Rams, they host the Bills in SoFi. Steelers, they play against the Browns at home. Texans are on a bye. Chargers, again, we talked about it, they're playing the Chiefs. Ravens, Broncos, and Colts, they're all on a bye. Of course, that Week 14 bye. Coming late, but hey, at this point, we're kind of excited about it. So what are we rooting for? What do we need to have happen over on Week 14 when we're watching football on Sunday, we're watching football on Monday? What should we be rooting for as Ravens fans to happen in this one? Well, first off, you need the Chiefs to beat the Chargers. And I also hear what you're saying, okay? I know you're saying, Joey, it's impossible for me to beat the Chiefs. But guys, you need the Chargers to drop. If the Chargers drop to 8-5, then you get the same record as they do, and then you pass them, and you're that number 5, that top wildcard seed, and that changes things. Then you got a road matchup against the Houston Texans instead of a road matchup against the Pittsburgh Steelers, okay? You need the Browns to beat the Steelers, okay? You need the Steelers to pretty much lose every game they're playing from here on out to give you a better chance of winning that AFC North. And then this last one, it's not like that big of a deal, but you do want the Jets to beat the Dolphins because the Dolphins are kind of right behind the Colts, vying for that 7th spot in the wild card. And just the more amount of those teams to lose, I think at the end of the day, it's just better for this team. Coming up, a little bit of an AFC North breakdown where the Ravens sit right now, where I think they'll fare by the end of the year. But before all of that, I got to give a massive shout out to the sponsor of today's video, and that is our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the most exciting and the easiest way to play daily fantasy sports. You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. And Prize Picks puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus because it is guaranteed. Prize Picks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to massive payouts like Taco Tuesday. Sometimes they just randomly discount a player's selections, and that square has a higher % chance of winning. Prize Picks is the best way to win real money this football season. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. Let's take a look at my picks for this upcoming Sunday slate of NFL football. I got Saquon Barkley going more than 106.5 rushing yards against Carolina. That one kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. And then I've got Bucky Irving, also with the more against Las Vegas, 70.5 rushing yards for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. That's code CLNS on Prize Picks. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, let's look and see how the AFC North sits right now. Okay, Steelers in that number 1 spot, a game and a half above the Baltimore Ravens. They're sitting at 9-3, already had their bye week. Baltimore with the bye week outcoming is sitting at second place. They are at 8-5. Bengals, Browns, 4-8 and 3-9. Who would have thought that at this point in the year, the Browns would only have one more loss than the Bengals? So if you see that 4-8, that 3-9 record, they're already out of AFC North contention. This is just a two-team race between the Baltimore Ravens and between the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you look at the odds, right now as they sit, Steelers are the favorites. They're sitting at -175, which means 65.6% chance to win it. The Ravens, they're at +140, meaning they have a 34.2% chance to win it at this point, okay? Now, a lot of things can happen, especially if Cleveland somehow pulls off a miracle and beats the Steelers this upcoming Sunday, then those odds are going to shift a little bit, okay? I'll get into more of the schedules of the remaining schedule for Pittsburgh, the remaining schedule of Baltimore, but I got a question real quick for you guys. Will the Ravens win the division? If you think yes, go ahead and type Y down in the comment section for me. And if you think no, go ahead and type in. If you want to, go ahead and give me reasons why, okay? If you think the Ravens are not playing great ball right now, if you think that's why they're not going to win the division, go ahead. Say that in the comment section. Don't be shy. And if you got a reason why you think they're going to win it, let me know down below as well. So the Ravens' remaining games. They got the Giants. They got the Steelers, Texans, and Browns. Giants is on the road, Texans on the road as well, Browns and Steelers both at home. It's tough because you got 3 games in a 10-day stretch. From Sunday to the following Wednesday, you're playing 3 football games, which I think is a little bit of BS, but it's just how the scheduling came out. There's just not much you can do about it at this point. But I think you got to win 3 of those games. I think the Giants, you have to win that one. I think the Browns, you have to win that one. I think you need to split one between the Steelers and Texans. I think you can win both, but I think you need to split one between those two. You'd prefer it to be the game against the Steelers. I mean, you kind of have it be the game against the Steelers. So the Steelers games remaining, what they've got left on their schedule, they play the Browns this upcoming week, Sunday, December 8th. Then they travel to Philadelphia. Then they travel to Baltimore. And then they have Kansas City at home. And then they end out their schedule taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay? So their schedule, their stretch is not easy by any stretch of the word, right? They've got a lot more of tough games ahead of them. And you need Baltimore to win 3. And I think you need Pittsburgh to lose 3, okay? If that happens, then they would end up with the same exact record. So, Joey, what happens when 2 teams have the exact same record? Great question. Then you go into the tiebreakers, okay? And here's the tiebreakers. You first look at head-to-head. Well, if they had the same exact record and Baltimore beat Pittsburgh, then they would head-to-head would be a split. So then you go, what's next? Okay, best one-loss tie percentage in division games. So what your divisional record is, what your AFC North record is at the moment. So right now, where the Ravens are sitting for their AFC record, they're sitting at 2-2. They still got a game against the Browns. They still got a game against the Steelers. You win both those, you're sitting at 4-2. You're sitting at a pretty good spot, okay? And then if you have the same divisional record, because there's still a chance you do have the same divisional record, then, well, after that, you go to the best win-loss tie percentage, so your winning percentage in common games. So games where you both play the exact same people, okay? So there's a lot still left to be played for. There's a lot still left to be looked at in terms of this playoff race, in terms of what's left in this season. I know people are freaking out and kind of giving up hope. But guys, that is so silly. There's still so much to play for. There's still so much that can happen. I mean, if you look at the playoff picture, this thing is still wide open. Sure, you already got Kansas City. You already got Buffalo, who have clinched the spots in their respective divisions. But man, you can still get that 3 spot at the end of the day. I know that seems absolutely crazy, but believe me, it's true. And then you could still always move up to that number 5 spot. Worst comes to worst, you're playing a road game against the Houston Texans, who haven't shown you much this year. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. I really do appreciate it. It means the world to me that you guys watch this channel, that you guys tune in for live shows, that you guys like the videos, subscribe, all that stuff. It really is not lost on me. And hey, if you haven't already, make sure, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and hit that subscribe button, because we're here every single day for the entire year. Alrighty, that is our next segment, or that was our most previous segment. We've got one segment left to go. Make sure you guys get your questions in. I see we got a super chat. Yikal, let me get you up on screen in just a little bit. I did not expect any super chats, so I did not even come prepared. But let me get you up on screen, my friend, because he asked a great question, and that question will be asked first in our mailbag segment because it is a super chat. Sorry again, just trying to get this all trying to get the super chat on the screen. Let's see. Again, self-producing here, so a little bit of patience and grace is much appreciated. Oh my goodness. And we're in. All right, one step closer. Don't worry, Yikal, we're getting you up on screen, my friend. Appreciate that $5 super chat from my man Yikal. Always coming in clutch. Always a massive supporter of the channel. Appreciate it. There we go. I hope you guys are enjoying doing this, man. This is a lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this all day long. Really was excited to do this. Was excited we hit the super chat goal. Of course, excited that we're here now. So here's Yikal's question. First off, thanks for the $5 super chat, my friend. He asks, I defended Harbs the past 10 plus years, but now he's testing my patience. It's unlikely in reality, but if you were EDC, would you move on from him? I'm going to answer that now. Okay, I'm gonna answer that now, and then I'm gonna answer it again. I'm gonna answer it now short, and then I'm gonna answer it in the long run later. I would wait to see what this team does in the postseason. Okay, if this team makes a run to the Super Bowl, I think there's no chance you don't bring him back. There's no chance you can't. But if I was EDC and this team makes it to the conference championship game again and loses, or God forbid loses in the first or second round of the playoffs, then like at that point, like I'm done and dusted. Truly I am. I don't think that's going to be the reality. I don't think there's any chance EDC moves on from him, but I'm just telling you how I feel, where I'm coming from. But that's a great question. That is going to, for sure, make it in our mailbag segment, my friend. Fantastic question. If you guys want to be just like my man, Yikal, you guys can send in a super chat. Make sure your questions get on the show, or you can use hashtag Ravens. That they'll populate in the chat. They'll come up. We can put them in there. Let's go to the comment section in just a little bit. See how you guys are feeling about the chances of this team making a run in the playoffs. We got Papa Shook in here. We got Fearless Tadpole saying 2 on his confidence level. Papa Shook said, no idea who that is because I don't watch that channel. I watch this one. Amen. Amen, Papa Shock. He's asking who is Chat Sports. You can call me Sal's in the chat. What's going on, Sal? Welcome in today's show. Really appreciate you being here. Thanks for tuning in. Ottoman Empire's headed out of here saying, see ya, my friend. All right, let's see where we're sitting at with questions. You guys got them in early. You guys got them in often as well. I feel like we should be at a pretty solid place for them. But let me look. Okay, we got K9 Reapers. He had a good one. You caught a good one. BP. Awesome question. Papa Shock. And then Kimberly Harmon. Kimberly, I'll answer your question with Ye Cause, because he basically asked the same question that you did. He super chatted to get on today's show, so we're going to give his question a little more of priority because he super chatted. Papa Shock with another question. Papa, this one's not going to go in because we already got a lot. We're good on questions, everybody. Thanks again for asking. Should Baltimore give up on Zach Orr? He hasn't really done the best job so far, if you ask me. So, Papa, great question. I'll actually have a video of that out tomorrow morning. I took a little bit of a deeper dive into what this defense has done the past few games, and they've been phenomenal. So, no, I don't think they will unless they just kind of regress back to where they were in the beginning of the year. I don't think they're moving on from him. But great question. I'll tune into tomorrow's video because that'll be answered. Okay, my friend? All righty. Well, I don't want to waste any more of your guys' precious time. Let's go ahead and get in today's mailbag section. Again, thanks so much to everybody who asked the questions, who's tuning in, who's super chatting, who's doing all that stuff, because I really do appreciate it. All righty. Without further ado, let's go into today's live Ravens Rundown mailbag. What is going on, everybody? Thanks so much for tuning in. This is Ravens Rundown. I am your host, Joey Petersen, and you are watching the mailbag edition of today's. I'm going to start that over for everybody watching. 3, 2. I didn't really like that. You know what? Let's get it going. 3, 2, 1. What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Ravens Rundown. You're tuning in to our mailbag episode today. Every single one of these questions came from people asking it on our mailbag episode on Tuesday. We go live every single Tuesday. It's a blast. We did it for the first time of the year this past week, and we'll go live again this next upcoming week. So make sure you guys are tuning in. You can get your questions and get a chance to get on the show as well. So I need you guys to do something for me. I need you to check in the comment section down below. Lock in because we need the Browns to beat the Steelers again on Sunday. If you want that to happen, if you want the good luck to roll on in, go ahead, comment down there below. This has already worked before when we talked about the Browns beating the Steelers. If you want it to work again, comment Go Browns in the comment section down below. I need you to spam it. Let's put as much of that in the universe as we can because we're cheering for the Brownies on Sunday against the Steelers. First one coming in is a super chat from our friend Ye Ka, saying, I had defended Harbs for the past 10 plus years, but now he's testing my patience. It's unlikely in reality, but if you were EDC, would you move on from him? Great question, Yikaw. He's kind of testing my patience as well. And I agree with what you said that it's unlikely, but I'm going to answer this from the perspective that you asked, that I'm Eric DaCosta. If you don't go to a Super Bowl this year, I think I might be looking at moving on from John Harbaugh. I know it's crazy to say. I know it's crazy to think. I know it's crazy to talk about because he's a guy who's an amazing winning percentage, has been a coach that's coached winning football teams for the last 16 years. But guys, I don't want to waste away this talent that we have with Lamar Jackson. If he proves again that he can't coach a team in a big situation, in a big game, and win a big playoff game or possibly a Super Bowl, then I've seen enough. I truly have. And I just think at some point it's time to get a little bit of new blood in there. Just something different, okay? Just a new look. And I know you guys, a ton of you guys agree with me. I see it in my comment section every single day, okay? And so if I'm EDC, if you lose in the first round or second round of the playoffs, oh my goodness, yes. Yes, I'm moving on. When you have Lamar Jackson, when you have Derrick Henry, when you have Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, all these talented players, and you're not doing anything in it again for the 5th year in a row, yes, I'm moving on. Do I think it's going to happen? Unfortunately, no, I don't. Next one coming in from Birds of a Feather. Would you give the MVP award to Derrick Henry or to Lamar Jackson? That's a great question as well, Birds of a Feather. I think I would probably lean toward Lamar Jackson because I just think that, I don't want to say Derrick Henry has tailed off, but you can look and you could say Derrick Henry's not even putting up the best running back numbers of this year because, unfortunately, That's the guy who just beat you on Sunday. That's Saquon Barkley. So in my opinion, it's like, how can Derrick Henry be the MVP when statistically he's not even the best running back this year? So that's kind of where I start giving it to Lamar Jackson. Because Lamar, while he's not in the lead and he's not the odds-on favorite to win MVP as of right now, that's Josh Allen, he's still better than Josh Allen in pretty much every statistical category when you look at it. Weird how that works out, isn't it? So I would give it to Lamar over Derrick, but if you would have asked me this like 6 or 7 weeks ago, I would have said they were dead even. Okay, I truly would have been split on the two of them. Who's your pick though? Is it Lamar? Is it Henry? You let me know in the comment section down below. If you think it's Lamar, give me an 8. If you think it's Henry, give me a 22. This is going to be a pinned comment on today's YouTube video. YouTube's about to throw you an ad break. And when that time comes, take advantage of it. Scroll down, find this pinned comment, and give me an 8 or a 22. This next one coming in from BP. Do you feel like the Ravens are getting the Chiefs' treatment from last year? Underrated in the regular season, but make a monster playoff run. Fantastic question, BP, because I kind of think you have a really good point there. I think they could be. I don't want to say that they are, because when you look at that Chiefs team last year, they had an elite defense. I mean, they had one of the best defenses in the NFL. And now this Ravens defense, like I talked about earlier in the week, it's gotten a lot better, especially in the pass defense. But I wouldn't say they're elite by the stretch of the word. They've been playing elitely in the past couple weeks, but that doesn't mean they're elite. And so Mahomes had an elite defense to lean on in the playoffs. And so I'd say that kind of makes them different. And also, I'm the biggest Lamar defender in my life on earth. But, man, Patrick Mahomes' playoff resume, even before this last year, it's pretty hard to argue with. And so, like, they just kind of had that guy that you knew could win them these postseason games. I'm not saying Lamar can't be that guy, but as of right now, he's not. And Patrick Mahomes is. And so I hope that's what's happening. I hope they're underrated, and I hope they do make a monster playoff run. But I think the Chiefs were just set up to do it a little bit better than the Ravens are this year because of their defense and because of just the crunch time playoff winner that they have in Patrick Mahomes. Next one coming in from Poe, you know. Will the Ravens lose Todd Monken to a head coaching job this off season? Ooh. That's a good one, because the more head coaching vacancies you've seen, the more and more you've seen Todd Monken's name out there, okay? You've seen him with the Saints, with the Giants, with the Jets, and I know he shot this down in their interviews on Tuesday, and their press conference media interviews. But, like, of course, what else is he going to say? Yeah, I'm super interested in it. At, like, week 13, week 14 of the regular season, that would make no sense. And so I think there's a chance. Now, he is a little bit older. He's never been a head coach before. I think this league as a whole is just kind of trending towards younger. So I would say those things don't really give him the best shot. But he is the offensive coordinator of the NFL's number one offense. And so that in itself has got to give him a little bit of a boost, a little bit of a probability. But, like, I wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't say, like, 100% no-brainer he's going to be a head coach. But I'd say there's a chance. I really would. His name came up in circles last season. It's coming up again so far. There's going to be even more head coaching vacancies, I'm sure, as the season goes on. And so I think there's a chance. But I want to ask you guys. I want to hear from y'all. Will Todd Monken be a head coach in 2025? Give me a yes or a no down below. If you think he's going to be somewhere, let me know. If you think he's staying right put, you give me a no in the comment section down below. Got to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video. It is our friends over at Game Time, and Game Time is the place to go for the best seats with the lowest prices guaranteed. It's the only place I go when I'm trying to get tickets to any college football or NFL game. Game Time has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks fills out the fluff and shows you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The tool highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which are the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. My favorite thing, bar none, about Game Time is the fact that you get the views from your seat. Every time you go to buy your ticket, even before you purchase it, you get to see this 180-degree panoramic view of what you'll be seeing when you get to the game. Can't tell you how many times I've gotten to a game and there's like a railing in my way or extended press box. I'm like, if I would have known this before, I wouldn't have bought the ticket. Well, that doesn't happen with our friends over at Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, redeem code ChatSports redeem code ChatSports for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. This one coming from my Knoxville boy, K9 Reaper. Go Vols, my friend. Saying, what do you think of our chances of winning the AFC North? I think they're fine. I don't love them. I especially don't love them as much as I did kind of like in the beginning of the season. But like still, they're not like horrible. You know, there's worse chances of winning divisions than we've got in the AFC. Of course, Steelers have the better probability because they've just been winning more games and they've won the head-to-head. But when you look at the rest of the schedule, you still have winnable games, okay? And that's going to bring us to our next question from Papa Shook. Do you think Baltimore can win out? I do think so. Will it be easy? No. It's never easy to do something like win out in the NFL. But is it doable? 100%. You still got to play the Texans on the road. You got to play the Steelers at home. But then you also get the Giants. You also get the Browns. Okay, so a little bit of an easier kind of like a little bit of an easier stretch there, but like that's kind of my thoughts is you got hard games, which you're a really good football team at the end of the day, and I do think you have the ability to win out. This last question of today's episode, is this defense legit now? I'm afraid they could be. I mean, if you just look at the sheer numbers of this pass defense in the past 3 games, guys, they have been so much better. They are the number 1 pass defense in the NFL in the last 3 games. Number 1. That's after being ranked dead last for the entirety of the season. If you just take the last 3 games, they're number 1 in the NFL. So if they can keep that improvement going, if they can continue on that success and just find a little bit of consistency as this one wraps up, man, I think they could be legit. And in my opinion, that just means this team is definitely legit. I want you to fill in the blank for me. This Ravens defense is blank. Okay, do you think it's dominant? Do you think it's fraudulent? Do you think it's bad? I'm going to let you fill in the blank. Let me know in the comment section down below what you're thinking, what you're feeling. Excited to see your guys' answers. Thanks so much for tuning in for this mailbag edition of Ravens Rundown by Chat Sports. Really happy to have you with us. Appreciate everybody on our live show who asked questions. And again, we are live Tuesdays at 5:30 Eastern Time. So if you want a chance to get on the show next week, you can join us then. Alrighty, that is going to do it for today's show. Thanks so much for tuning in, every single one of you. Getting back into the chat. We got TJ saying Todd sucks. He thinks he won't. King Crazy says doesn't make adjustments. Mr. Fred said legit, ? Coaster Dude said would rather have grow, LMAO. Pat saying they've been getting great since TW. Yaml saying consistently being put in bad positions. Couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. Okay, that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I am your host, Joey Petersen. Make sure you guys are liking the video, subscribing to the channel if this is your first time taking a look at it, your first time tuning in. Really get to love covering this team for you guys. Means the world that you guys watch, means the world that you guys super chat, you guys like. Won't be live this upcoming Sunday, of course, because it's the bye week, but we'll put the first video of today on the channel. Make sure to go like it there, comment on there as well. And then we'll got 2 videos for you tomorrow as well. Again, thanks so much for being with us. We'll see you guys later today and then again tomorrow. You guys have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.